Well, the Senate, Bernie actually voted for it, for the budget. The Senate passed a budget with 67 votes, which was more than the 60 necessary to overcome a Republican filibuster. It's interesting, if you look at the states where both members of the Senate voted against them, it kind of starts in Mississippi and Alabama, loops across, and just goes right straight up the middle of the country. It's the same states, basically, that are not allowing their people to have their own tax dollars back from Washington, D.C. in the form of Medicare expansion, which is very, very strange. So, meanwhile, Paul Ryan, who helped cut this deal, along with Patty Murray and a group of 10 other members of the, I think it's 10, maybe it's more than that, members of the House and Senate. Bernie was on the committee. Paul Ryan is now saying, or said day before yesterday on TV, that they're trying to figure out what they're going to try to extract from Democrats in exchange for raising the debt ceiling. Now, this should be entertaining. C. Edmund Wright, conservative commentator, contributor to Breitbart and The American Thinker, the author of the book WTF, How Karl Rove and the Establishment Lost Again. His website, C. Edmund, E-D-M-U-N-D, Wright, WRIGHT.com, and you can find a link to it over at thomhartmann.com. C. Edmund Wright, welcome back to the program.
Glad to be back, Tom. Did I see you on the military channel talking about the Kennedy assassination over the weekend?
It may well have been. NBC did an hour-long special on the Kennedy assassination. I think it's called The Men Who Killed the President, that has been playing on the Discovery Channel for about 5 years. About every month or every other month they play it. It's me and Lamar Waldron. We wrote a book on the topic.
Yeah, well, it popped up on the military channel over the weekend.
Ha! How about that? Let's say it's a pretty good documentary.
It irritated me, so I don't know if that's good or bad.
It what?
You didn't say a thing in that documentary that upset me, so I don't know if that's good or bad.
Well, I think that we all have some serious questions about who killed Jack Kennedy, although I think that Lamar and I have come pretty close to figuring it out, but that's a whole other topic.
Yep. Yep.
So you're of the opinion that the Republicans are probably not going to hold the Democrats hostage over the debt ceiling. Do I have that right?
Well, yeah, first of all, I wouldn't call it holding hostage, but actually, I think John Boehner and Mitch McConnell and the boys will fall right in line with what you want on the debt limit as well. You know, the Republican establishment, and this speaks to my book, which you plugged. I appreciate that. But it speaks to the Civil War inside the Republican Party and the conservative movement. And the establishment is always, caving in because of the fear of a government shutdown. And always saying, but we'll fight harder the next time, and they rarely do. Ted Cruz forced their hand a little bit about 10 weeks ago, but that was an abnormal situation. So actually, Tom, I wish I could say your fears are founded. I don't think they are.
Well, what would the issues be? I mean, if the Republican Party is going to win elections with anything other than subterfuge or lies. I mean, without going to single issues. I mean, historically, what they've done is, oh my God, they're coming to get your guns. Let's hold a special election and throw 2 Democratic senators out in Colorado, kind of thing, and just appeal to a slice, a very thin slice of the electorate. And in many ways, the Republican Party has been able to win elections. Where they've been able to win elections is by taking the misogynist vote, the anti-abortion, anti-woman vote, the gun vote, the fundamentalist Christian vote. They take these individual slices and throw them together. I mean, the Democrats do the same thing. It's just that their slices are different. But there's a serious conversation in the Republican Party about how do we appeal to working class Americans, because the economy really sucks, and working class Americans are really taking a hit, as are pretty much everybody except the top 10%. And so how do we appeal to these folks? What policies do we have? I mean, during the Reagan era, it was, we're going to cut everybody's taxes. Well, that not only didn't work, it actually, we went from 4 decades of 3.3% GDP growth to now we've had 3 decades of 2.7% average GDP growth. It actually hurt this country. We went from continuously rising wages on working people, literally from 1793 until 1980, to flat, in fact, falling wages on working people. So 30 years of Reaganomics and tax cuts haven't worked. What are the Republicans going to sell that might actually benefit working people. It seems like everything in their quiver either is a gift to a special interest group, and that special interest group is never the American middle class, and that's the biggest special interest group, I'd say, in the Democratic Party side, which makes it easier for them to win elections, or it's a gift to the billionaires.
Well, I don't think they're trying to win elections on the back of billionaires. There's not that many of them that vote. Besides which, the things have turned. It's the Democrat Party that's the party of Wall Street now more than the Republican Party. But, gosh, Tom, there was a lot there, going back to Reaganomics and everything. I'm not sure the Reagan tax cuts didn't work. The federal government...
they tripled the national debt. I mean, you give me a $3 trillion credit card, I'll show you what it looks like to live large.
There's two sides to a debt. There's income and there's outgo.
He doubled national spending in 8 years, too, discretionary spending.
Yeah, he had a Democrat Congress, and he's not a hero on spending with what he was able to accomplish.
Every single one of those budgets was a budget that Reagan approved or proposed.
No, I agree, but they were Democrat budgets that he approved.
No, they were Reagan budgets that he was approving.
Well, he didn't have the House.
It was Reagan who
for a few years.
It was Reagan who proposed Star Wars, which sucked up
$1
trillion of it.
Yeah, he did propose Star Wars, but let me ask you a question. Let me just ask you a question here, because you're a smart guy. How in the world can the Republican House hold Barack Obama hostage, and yet when Reagan had a Democrat House, it was a Reagan budget? I mean, seems like you're kind of playing both sides of the street there, Tom.
Well, no, I'd say things have changed a lot since the 1980s.
Yeah, but
Reagan, how many?
The Constitution hadn't. The separation of powers has not.
But actually, it has. The Democrats were not filibustering every piece of legislation during the Reagan administration. In fact, Reagan had, two filibusters in his entire 8 years?
Last week, anyway, 2 weeks ago, so don't worry about it.
Well, that's only for nominees and for judicial appointments. It's not for laws.
Right.
I'm curious, what is the policy? What is the law that Republicans want to pass that's actually going to help the middle class?
Well, the main thing that they want to do is they want to roll back Obamacare, and that's what 2014 will be about.
How does that help the middle class to not have health insurance?
It doesn't help the middle class to not have health insurance. It helps the middle class not to have this disastrous government-run health insurance program.
Well, it's not. It's not government run. This is private insurance companies.
Everything about it is government mandate. Yes, they mandate it with private companies. And by the way, I'm very critical of these private companies who sign up for this crony care kind of situation that's now backfiring on them. So there's almost a little bit of
Obamacare has, it starts at the beginning of this year in the final and big way. It's not responsible for the last 32 years of a crappy economy and flat wages.
No, Obamacare is not. But
what do Republicans have to offer as opposed to take? So they want to take away Obamacare. That's not offering something. What do Republicans have to? Democrats want to extend unemployment insurance. They want to increase spending on infrastructure projects. They want to put America back to work.
Like the stimulus did, where Obama admitted there weren't as many shovel-ready jobs as he thought.
Yeah, but it did work. It took us from 700,000 jobs a month that we were losing to zero.
Well, except that we now have 92 million unemployed adults, and because of the way we count, the percentage is 7.3 or whatever it is, but it's 92 million unemployed adults, and that's not.
Well, you're counting all the people who choose to be stay-at-home housewives and students in college.
That number should be probably 65 or 70 million, not 92 million.
10.9 is the official number, 10.9 million. But again, what would you do about that? I mean, Republicans want to cut unemployment benefits for those people. What would you do?
Well, I don't think unemployment benefits are a long-term solution.
Okay, so there's nothing you do.
Nothing you're going to like.
Okay. C. Edmund Wright, his website, cadmundwright.com. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom.
This is the Thom Hartmann Program.
And his book is WTF, How Karl Rove and the Establishment Lost Again. We'll be right back.